In the name of Allah, the most compassionate, the most merciful, and may the peace and blessing of Allah be upon His last and beloved Messenger Muhammad, and may the peace and blessing of Allah be upon you all. This is an episode in a series entitled Reflections from the Guidance of the Quran. And in this series, I present a situation or something I heard in my life and how to ponder and reflect upon it from the guidance of the last revelation of Allah God to people of the Quran. And in this episode, I will ponder and reflect upon why people go away from the Quran in this day and age. So this is something I notice, that people, Muslims and non-Muslims, they are going away from the Quran more and more, and they are deserting the Book of Allah more and more. Now I want to show you the reason for this, one of the main reasons for this, and how to solve this problem. Now, to demonstrate and to show you the reason why people are going away from the Quran, I need to show you this example. Now, suppose that you are reading something that it's not applicable in your life. For example, that you have problems, you have, for example, financial problems, you want to learn engineering, physics, you want to do something productive. Now, this document you are reading, you feel that it's not applicable in your life, it doesn't help you in your life, it's not implemented in your life. Now, the response of a person for this is that he will desert this document, meaning that if something is not practical, you cannot implement it in your life, then you will be driven away from that source. Now, to apply this for the Quran, now people, they read the Quran, but in this day and age, they experience that when they have, for example, psychological problems, financial problems, they don't go to the Quran to find a solution, they go to other sources. For example, they want to learn engineering, physics, chemistry, they don't go to the Quran, they go to other sources. For example, they want to learn parenting, how to parent their children, they go to other sources to learn this knowledge. So as a result of this, because the majority of people, they don't go to the Quran to find solution for the problems, to find something they can practice in their life, as a result of this, they desert the Quran. So this is one of the main reasons. One of the main reasons why people they don't love the Quran that much, and they don't practice it in their life, and they don't take it as a book of reference, because they don't practice it. They don't practice the Quran. So this is the cause. Now what's the cure? The cure is very simple. If the cause is that people, they don't practice the Quran, then the cure is for people to practice the Quran. For example, if you find yourself in a certain problem, psychological or financial problems, and you find the solution from the Quran, that this problem is solved from the Quran, then as a result of this, you will love the Quran and you will go back to the Book of Allah God Almighty. Another example, if you find yourself learning engineering, physics, chemistry from the Quran, then you will love the Quran and you will be attached to it more and more. So the solution is for a person to implement the Quran in his life. That is the way to reverse this kind of dangerous phenomena that people are going away from the Quran. Now the next logical question is how? How can I practice the Quran? How can I implement the Quran? How can I, when I have a problem in my life, I find a solution in the Quran, and how to really implement it practically? Now for this reason, for this purpose, I dedicated a large section in my website on how to practice the Quran. For example, if you go to my website, I will show you the link in a minute, you will find how to diagnose and cure mental problems from the Quran. For example, if a person has a psychological problem, in my website there's a complete diagnosis and cure for this problem. And also in my website I showed how to learn engineering from the Quran, how to learn the optimal engineering from the Quran, and I showed how to learn physics and chemistry, and how to solve all the problems of people. So please, if you go to my website, you will see how practically we can implement the Quran in our life. And if we do this, then you will love the Quran, you will be drawn to the Quran, and even the non-Muslims, they will be attached to the Book of Allah, God Almighty. So please go to my website at www.quran-miracle.com to see how we can practice the Quran in our life, how to implement it practically. And you can email me at zaidquran@yahoo.com, and may the peace and mercy of Allah be upon you all.